We are chatting about the equine industry in Ohio, some of its challenges and some opportunities that are afforded to it. We will continue that conversation in just a few moments with our guests, Dave White of the Ohio Farm Bureau, Ohio Department of Agriculture Director Robert Boggs, and Brock Schmaltz of the Ohio Equine Industry Coalition. Thing about this problem with needing gaming, or some people feel that we need gaming at the racetracks in Ohio. We talked earlier about how big the harness racing is in terms of helping county fairs. Yeah. Director Boggs, you're out at a lot of county fairs. Are the fair board members worried?
Absolutely. I was just at the Perry County Fair today. They have no racing anymore at Perry County. I've been to several other fairs earlier in June and July, and the same thing is happening. The amount of days of those fairs that do have racing are down, the handles are down, and the participation is down. That has an overall impact on the attendance at the county fairs as well, and there's a very significant concern among the Fair Managers Association about racing in Ohio.
And one problem is very simply, not only we talked about the racing and the purses, but those racing horses have to come from somewhere, and the breeding industry here in Ohio has historically been tremendously important. And Director, I'm sure you're well aware that as wonderful as the agricultural fabric here is in Ohio, Ohio used to be known as the leading producer of two things. Yep. One was Swiss cheese and one was standardbred racehorses. Right. And I think if my numbers are correct, where Ohio used to be number one as recently as last year, if the numbers hold, I think at the end of 2008 it may slip to sixth, just simply because the money is elsewhere, and the people are choosing to breed their horses elsewhere.
There are a variety of challenges, and so we don't want to get too caught up on this racing and gaming issue.
But we look at the importance of horse racing to the county fairs. Absolutely. And how the county fairs are challenged financially. If they aren't able to sustain the equine industry in the state, where will the horse racing that draws and attracts the people to the fair come from? We've got two of the largest equine events in the country here in Ohio. In October, we'll have the All-American Quarter Horse Congress, and that's not put on by the American Quarter Horse Association. That's put on by the High Quarter Horse Association. And then Delaware and the county fair has the Brown Jug, which is the crown jewel of horse racing, behind the cart, so to speak. So there's a lot of significant importance here from an economic standpoint. And just looking over some stats here, the total effect on gross domestic product from the equine industry alone is in excess, estimated by the American Horse Council a few years ago, of $2.2 billion.
And that's in Ohio alone.
And that's in Ohio alone. So we can not afford to lose this, but at the same time, we look at from a historical standpoint, this has gained a lot of talk in the past 5 to 10 years.
We've talked about plenty of challenges that Ohio horsemen are facing, especially certain segments of it. Where do we start in fixing some of the problems? How do we return vitality across the industry?
But in terms of the standardbred industry, one of the things we're finding is that there's a lot of support in the legislature for doing something to help out here because of the county fairs, because of the impact on agriculture. And they've moved very quickly and responsibly in regard to the veterinary situation that we've been talking about. And we're hopeful, together with Farm Bureau, of having a legislation in place that will help these underserved areas of our state with the large livestock vets. But in regard to the overall issue, one of the things we're looking at is at Reynoldsburg, we have an animal toxicology lab. And what we do is do drug testing for the horse racing industry in Ohio. And now with the Kentucky Derby controversy, we're also going to be doing some anabolic steroid testing. And we're finding out that in many states, the states don't have the laboratories to do that. So that we have an opportunity to capture more business from other states in regard to this drug testing for the horse industry. We would like to return part of that money to a program that would help the equine industry in Ohio. And we're talking with the legislature about setting up an equine task force for the entire state, not to duplicate the efforts, the fine efforts that are already being done in the private sector, but just to bring all the stakeholders together, all the business people, and believe me, there's a lot of business people that are impacted by the equine industry in Ohio, to find out ways of perhaps doing what we've done with wheat and corn and soy, of setting up a board to administer research and marketing programs that would help the equine industry.
As we close out the show, Dave White of the Ohio Farm Bureau, Brock Schmaltz of the Ohio Equine Industry Coalition, and Mr. Robert Boggs, the Director of the Ohio Department of Agriculture. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining us on Town Hall, Ohio.